Hi, friends. Kathy Lanzalaco from Inspire Careers, here with life success coach Rob Simonelli from Dreams to Manifestation. Hi, Rob.
Morning, everyone. Morning, Kathy.
We're here again today with another episode of Coaches Unite, where we have been producing this weekly video series where we're talking about best practices and strategies to help you achieve the goals in your life, overcome a lot of the stress and challenges that we've all been going through these past several months. And today we wanted to talk a little bit about our first live event that we had. Yay, wasn't it great, Coach?
Yes, our first Coaches United event. It was great. Yes.
We did that.
A lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. We did that on Facebook earlier this week on Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And we're going to be doing it again every Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern time on Facebook. And then we're going to be moving to LinkedIn. But we just wanted to recap a little bit. We were so thrilled at our first live event that we had about 10 people join us, which we thought was fabulous for the first week. And we answered a lot of questions and we talked about stuff. But Coach, let's talk a little bit about what we talked about, how we opened the live event, and then we can, get into maybe some of the follow-up of it. But we were talking about the importance of a daily routine and helping you. We all know a daily routine helps keep your day on track, but it's so much more than that. You want to talk about that a little bit in terms of achieving your goals and why it's important?
Yeah. So with people, people were so, how do you say it, engaged the other day that I think we went a good hour.
We did 1 hour.
So we won't break it down here that much here, but just generalize. We'll generalize it. So you want to start off with some kind of a morning repetition, morning practice, people call it, ritual. You can give whatever name you want to give it. But really, I started with waking up, my eyes open, I go into gratefulness. And we've all talked about this, even on my individual videos and yours, and even your post, we talk about gratefulness. So gratefulness starts you off for bringing in good things. So I open my eyes, I go to gratefulness, I'll do a forgiveness practice, I'll do my vision. So we talk about having a vision. We should be reading and writing our vision on a regular basis. Some people just have it in their mind, they know what they want, it's clear. When you've done this for a while, it's right there, it's clear to you. And, maybe they don't touch it every day, but I really invite you and suggest that you do. And the reason being is it becomes, when it first starts off, you're like, oh, I'm doing this, it doesn't feel right. Maybe even parts of you doesn't believe. But what's great about it is if you read it every day, you actually start to believe it. Once you convince your subconscious of it, you'll actually see things start to happen for you. Opportunities will show up. Some people call it out of the blue. But there is no out of the blue. I can assure you that there's no out of the blue. So that's, and then I do a little, I do my vision, I do reading. So we talked about reading. I'll do a little exercise, yoga, what have you as well. But I do reading, and we talked about that. Reading is very important. What they say, what you put in is what comes out. And so I read every day. So that's really in general what we talked about the morning practice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So. But we talked a little bit specifically about some of the things that you and I both read. Why don't we touch on that real quickly, because we are going to have another event where we're going to talk strictly about books and reading materials that we recommended, but the question had come up, what do you read? What do you recommend? So let's talk about those top 3 or the top 1 or 2 that we had recommended, Coach. What are yours?
Well, the first one I started off with, it was As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Now, the reason I started with that book was some people that have never done this before. So we're starting something new in our lives, a new habit. The old self, the old paradigm that doesn't read is going to pull you back to not reading.
Right.
After a couple of days. So my goal for that book, I love the book. I mean, it's one of my top ones. But my goal is it's a small read. It's a thin read. It's a small read, but it's powerful. So if you're going to start this new thought process, that's a great book to start with. So it's As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Great.
Yeah, we both said that. That was our first when we answered that question.
Yeah.
That was the one we first came up with. It's so foundational to all of the work that this does, and it's so accessible. It's so easy to read, and you have to, continue.
And it may be 100 years old. I didn't look at the date, but I know it's pretty old.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So this work has been going on a long time, and certainly, certainly to start, that's a great starting point. The other book that we talked about was The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. For those that are familiar with The Secret, which certainly was her first book, and it was the huge movie, and we can talk about that another time too, because we're very much supportive of that.
Yeah, it's almost 15 years old now. It's 2006.
That's crazy, right?
The Secret, but she's done a lot of them afterwards. And The Magic, I think, is the last one.
I don't know if it's the last one, but I don't think it's the last one, but it is the one that's focused on gratitude. And that's why we talked about it, because as you mentioned, gratitude is a daily practice, it cannot be underestimated about how critically important that is for bringing in more good into your life. And the beauty of the magic, and there's probably other books like it, but the magic in particular supports other things we're talking about, but it walks you through 28 days of gratitude, and how every day it's easy, it's simple, it's quick, it's not a part-time job, but it does it, and it builds on it every single day to help you get into that mood. And I know, we've talked about how we've done it several times. I mean, it's not anything that you go through the 28 days and put it on your nightstand. You keep revisiting it and going back to it, and it really literally becomes part of you. So those are the two first books. And I know we were talking about on our next live event, you and I are going to compare our top 10 list of, remember?
Yeah, we're not going to tell each other.
No, we're going to see.
We're going to tell each other what those are. So that's going to be great fun.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Because I got a feeling some of them will match just like our first one did.
I'm sure they will. And I know you and I have exchanged a lot of reading materials over the time that, that we've been together, in terms of learning from each other and sharing. And I'm sure other people that are going to be attending our live events, or certainly are welcome to comment on this recording, have other suggestions of books that they have found helpful for,
Oh yeah, I get them all the time.
Yeah. So, we always want to hear about other things that people have. Our list is not the all-inclusive list. So that would be awesome.
Right. What I love about that is, I'm sorry, Kate.
No,
what I love about that is the reading piece. So say, well, why would I incorporate reading into it? It's what's in, but it's repetition. So what the audience, what y'all want to know is, and I myself, is when you read something over and over again, it's not reading to get it done, to get the book done. It's reading it, applying what you're learning, and it becomes a part of you. So people say, well, how do you do this law of attraction, this law of, vibration? How do you keep yourself in that frequency? Study. King Solomon was one of the richest men in the biblical times. And he said, in all your understanding, and all you're getting, get understanding. And all you're getting, get understanding. And you think, wow, that's interesting coming from him. So it's about understanding. Knowledge is power. It really is.
Well, we talked too about a lot of the readings of these, the readings that we're recommending, and, our conversations that we're having. All of it too is based, it's biblical. It's all based in the Bible. Nothing that we're talking about. When people hear the word the magic, they think, they think crazy stuff, right? They think, oh, this has to be black magic. This has to be, whatever it is that they're concerned about. And that's not how it is at all. I mean, the terms it's like, remember when you were young and your parents would say, what's the magic word? The magic word was please, right? When somebody gave you some, oh, may I have that, please? And then what do you say afterwards? You always were prompted to say thank you. So it's a lot of that we all know. It's just looking at it again as an adult. It takes on a different meaning for us, and it's so much deeper, but the foundation is still the same. It's about saying please, and it's about saying thank you, and it's really about feeling it, right?
Yeah. And the greats, you know what I love about what you said about that, and this isn't just so people don't get scared about, religion, right? We're not learning and teaching religion. Believe it or not, Jesus didn't teach religion. Right. So it's, that's a whole nother topic. This is about all of the great saints and sages, even the ones living today that teach. You will find what we're talking about incorporating in all of that. Tony Robbins is a very, very popular person. Bob Proctor that I've worked with, Mary Morse I've worked with very closely, Dr. Wayne Dyer, they all, Dr. Bruce Lipton, there's so many, right? That they're all teaching the same thing. It's different phrases, different verses, different experiences, stories from clients themselves, but you'll find they all match. They're all running, and it's truth is truth. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. Truth is truth. If you get connected to the truth, you get fired up about it. You get hungry because you know how to live your life.
You're absolutely right. And whether you listen to the books, or you can find a lot of the information on YouTube as well, the Dr. Joe Dispenzas of the world. But how about let's even go back to Plato, Socrates, Aristotle. Yes. I mean, this is not new information. When we talk about the greats, whether it's from that time, whether it's from the early 20th century, the Napoleon Hills of the world, whatever the case, this stuff has been around a long time. But
even Einstein.
Einstein, yeah.
I mean, you think about Albert Einstein, you don't put him in that category. But if you think about Albert Einstein, all the things that he created, he said, match the frequency of the reality you want. The reality you want is your dream. So match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. He knew that. That was amazing. And he was one of the highest recorded IQs in history. Folks, it's right there. You know?
Well, maybe we can end it on this, because I think it is an Einstein quote, and if it's not, you please correct me. Isn't Einstein the one that said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results?
Yes.
Was that Einstein? So if
yes,
we apply
that's what I've learned is that it is, but
right.
Nonetheless, it's a true quote.
Right.
People keep doing. We watch people doing the same thing over and over again, and they're complaining about it. Stop doing that.
And that's the whole point of this, is to do something different, to get something different, whether it's in your personal life with, bringing in a partner, manifesting more money. I talk about that with people very heavily lately in their careers. You have to do something different to get different results. I had a young woman call me the other night. She was practically crying. She was so upset. She's been out of work for 6 months. And I said, you've got to do something different. You can't keep doing the same thing and expecting the same results. Not in this environment, certainly never. And you and I are doing it with doing live events and doing other things to help reach people. You have to be able, the old saying of think outside of the box. I mean, I think it's become rote to hear that, but it is about doing something different, right? But it all starts with that.
Even if it's just stop talking about being out of work. Talking about being out of work. I can't believe I'm out of work. Get you more being out of work.
Yeah.
And it sounds tricky, but you got to focus on, no, okay, it's not that we're putting our heads in the sand. It's where she is in the moment. And I've been there, but the deal is, where am I going? That's the key. Where am I going? And you talk about, doing the same thing over and over again. Definition of insanity, expecting a different result is different insanity. I always tell people, I even told my kids along the way, you're banging your head on the wall. It hurts. Stop banging your head on the wall. Sounds silly, but you wouldn't keep banging your head on the wall, right?
But it's true. And I think as people begin to see the results of that, that's where the momentum takes on then to get them towards the goals. But I think that's where we'll leave it for today then, Coach. And we are going to be doing another live event on Facebook on this coming Tuesday. Which is August 11th, I think. It's the 11th.
Yes.
At 1 o'clock Eastern time. So we're going to be there, and we'll probably, if all goes well, we'll probably be for that full hour like we were last time. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, comments, anything you'd like to put, please feel free to put that in the comment section.
Oh, yeah.
Share this
or even
video.
A subject.
Oh, yeah.
Subject. Can you talk about this? Or if you have questions ahead of time, put them in. Not that we need to be ready for them. Kind of like the improv, but hey, maybe you'll come up with a question when you're watching this and go, hey, can you answer this? So we'll not only answer you on this, we'll answer you. We'll field that question on the call.
Excellent. That's a great suggestion. Please feel free to share the video too with anybody else that you think that needs to see it. And in the meantime, then, thank you all for joining us for today. Live inspired and continue to dream. Thank you. This is Coaches Unite. Have a great day.